a brand that's been very hot lately, partly because it's been tied with TNA, and TNA's been hot lately because it's been tied with NXT. But another event because these are two separate brands, so they keep running events kind of separate, even though they're congruent with each other. Halloween Havoc is this Saturday from Prescott Valley, Arizona. You know, a place I'm just unbelievably familiar with. I mean, it just rings off the tongue. Prescott Valley and the Findlay Toyota Center. So not to be confused with the Toyota Center in Houston that I think is the brand Toyota, which sponsors, Toyota as the national brand it is. The Findlay Toyota Center, formerly the Tim's Toyota Center in Prescott Valley, is specifically for the one dealership of Toyota in that area.
Just to give you the numbers, the population of according to online from 2020, less than 50,000 people that live there.
It's a place that can hold about 5,000 people, like a minor league hockey building in Prescott Valley, Arizona. I think, I feel like it's a place that's probably had TNA before, so it's right up this alley for like NXT having this event. And it's kind of funny. So before we talk about, we talk about Prescott Valley, Arizona having this Halloween Havoc, which is normally and has been recently, a Tuesday night special, part of NXT's TV special. I've noticed they've been doing this a little bit lately throughout this year. Like Great American Bash was another example of this, where it used to just be part of NXT television, like a special week. This is like a standalone pay-per-view PLE event. It'll be on Peacock. So for those of you who canceled Peacock, well, you'll need Peacock because they have, this event this weekend. And it'll be on Netflix internationally, but it's not a part of the ESPN deal. But before we talk NXT in Arizona, one kind of weird thing going into Friday Night SmackDown, which is also in Arizona. It is going to be from the Mullet Arena on the campus of Arizona State University, home of the Arizona State Sun Devils hockey team. And I find it very strange because this is an exceptionally small arena to be hosting SmackDown. Part of the deal is why they're even there, why they're in the area. I read I was wondering why they're in the arena, but why they're in the area and on the campus in general is a deal apparently they have with Big 12 football to host SmackDown. As part of a collaboration weekend with like a Big 12 football game. And I believe Arizona State is a Big 12 college football team.
They are, yeah.
Like her hosting a game maybe also. I mean, I imagine that's why WWE is there. So it's part of, I think, why like maybe they might go to like Colorado. Obviously they're here for Arizona State. It might be why they're in like, I don't know, like a Texas area, like the same city that's hosting a game the night before, like Austin, Texas or something, right? Yeah. So that is why they're in Arizona State. I guess I wonder why they can't go to the basketball arena at Arizona State, because that holds 14,000 people. If they have to be on the campus, because that's the deal. They can't be in downtown Phoenix where they typically are, or even in Glendale where they will be for a Monday Night Raw in just a few weeks, which is the same market. So they will be in Phoenix, Arizona, essentially twice in the next month for a SmackDown and a Raw. And the one in Glendale, Arizona, the former home of the Arizona Coyotes, is another 16,000 seat arena. But this place holds 5,000 full. It is a college hockey arena. They did host the Arizona Coyotes in their final year in a weird way. But it is a way in where they're going to utilize the small walkway entranceway for SmackDown. And it's not because like it's the Madison Square Garden, it's a pay-per-view and the ticket demand so high, but because this arena is so small that literally any demand, I mean, just getting 5,000 in there means they can't bring the stage. So it's going to have the small little entranceway stage, like, like we saw, not for Clash of Paris because they had a big stage, but like kind of like what we saw for like WrestlePalooza and things like that. But for SmackDown, and again, not because it's at Madison Square Garden and the demand is just so high, but because it's such a small arena that it has to have the house show kind of set up. And in fact, it's weird because I don't remember a time where WWE was selling standing room only tickets because this arena is so small and it only has one little row of seats, a little bowl of seats that above it, Arizona State sells standing room only tickets, because it's a college hockey arena and they just sell those kind of as like an additional seating. So like you can buy standing room only tickets, and the tickets for this SmackDown are actually not crazy expensive as you might think with a place so small. Because again, the demand, just as we saw the Arizona Coyotes in a 5,000 seat arena, and you would think tickets are $1 million, but the demand wasn't that high, and that's why they were in the arena they were. The demand isn't that high for this. So it is crazy because like it's like $40 to get in the door for this, which is insane in the WWE terms nowadays. But it is just a weird. It is an arena that actually will probably have less people than the one for Halloween Havoc on Saturday night in Prescott Valley. So just a weird place to have a
Hey, if they can
SmackDown.
do it, we can have it here at the War Memorial. I'm just saying.
I mean, they could absolutely. I mean, I believe that they could be doing that regardless of this. I just think, again, it's like if WWE said SmackDown's coming to New York City, I'm imagining, okay, yeah, they're at the Barclays Center. They're at Madison Square Garden. Maybe they're even on Nassau County at UBS Arena or the Nassau County Coliseum. If you told me, you know what I mean, they're at some sort of 5,000 seat, ice hockey arena on Columbia University's campus, I would say, like, what's that all about, right? And again, right next door is the basketball arena there that holds like 14,000 and
Yeah, that's
resembles more of the other arenas that they would typically go to. So I don't know what brought them to Mullet Arena, but I guess it's worth watching just for that sake alone. Just for the sake alone that when someone's in the ring and talking on the mic, you'll probably be able to see like the most nosebleeded seat and the concourse behind them, because it's only like 6 rows of seats at like center ice to like the main level.
yeah.
So I mean, it's very TNA NXT esque heading into a weekend, where NXT is hosting an event. But Halloween Havoc is happening this weekend. It's an interesting card. I think one of the most interesting things, and we'll get into a few of these different matches, is the tag team championship match, and where the Dark State gets their rematch against the Hardys. But this past weekend NXT, we didn't just see the Hardys as the champions they are, talking about defending their titles against Dark State in a rematch, but they brought back the Broken Hardy gimmick, and this will be a Broken Rules match for the tag team championships. What do you think about the Broken Hardys making their debut in NXT?
I think it's cool. I think it's something that you know it's been a fun gimmick we've seen over the years with the Hardys and I
Matt specifically, yeah.
yeah, specifically him, but brother Nero and all the different gimmicks over the years. I like it. When they say broken rules, I just look at it. It's like, okay, it's like a hardcore match. It's up the Hardys' alley. That's really what it is. I just hope the Hardys don't have the titles for such a short time. So I hope they win this. I really hope they win this match and retain the titles.
It is one of those weird alter ego games. Maybe it's like similar like Mick Foley and the Three Faces of Foley that like
Yeah,
they've been around for so long that things have gotten like, where they come back. We've seen that before with the Dudley Boys made a return in like 2016. And then and it was like the biggest deal in the world. And then like a minute later, we're like, oh, we forgot they're still there. And they're in a 6-man tag on Monday Night Raw. So it's a way to make it so that this gimmick, that their gimmick, their character doesn't get old, and can switch it up here and there and kind of do things that are a little different. Because we've already seen the Dark State and the Hardy Boys become the champions. So it's a good way to kind of change that up. But another match I'm looking forward to, not the championship match, but we just saw Javon Evans and Leon Slater of NXT X Division fame, or TNA X Division fame, Leon Slater, and Javon Evans at their X Division match at Bound for Glory put on a show. They're
yeah.
teaming up together, though, after putting on that amazing show to take on AAA's superstars that we saw that have been a big deal since WWE has bought AAA and has been taking the wrestling world by storm in a gimmick perspective. Mr. Iguana and La Parca, L.A. Parca, if you will. Are you looking forward to this? Yeah, La Parca. Are you looking forward to this match?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting
Quite a
affair.
contrast of styles, but I wouldn't say contrast of gimmicks.
Oh, 100%. Like I think you're going to see some really fun spots out of Evans and Slater. And obviously, when you have Mr. Iguana in there, and obviously he has his iguana. I cannot remember what's the iguana's name. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I've started because I guess I started getting into the Finn Balor puppet now. The the Demonita puppet so much. So I know the iguana puppet is I
Like
forgot what
Ayahuasca or something like that. Something. I can't remember what. Regardless, I'm waiting to see some cool spots.
Yes, La Yesca is
Lyaska. It was close. Okay, it was Lyaska. I'm just looking forward to seeing what Evans and Slater do in that match. La Parca has been world renowned for a long time, so let's not discount that. But I want to see what Iguana is going to do with those two specifically. I think it'll be a fun match. I do think Evans and Slater are going to win though.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, La Park has been around for
Ever.
quite a while.
Yeah. Long
So
time.
you get that classic in there as well. Mr. Guana, obviously, who's very popular lately in the AAA world and how they've been doing the whole Worlds Collide thing and how he's shown up there, his whole little rivalry, if you will, with Finn Balor. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, to tie in that, AAA and NXT Worlds Collide. We're getting a Day of the Dead match for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page and Dr. Wagner Jr. are facing off. Day of the Dead match. I don't really know what that necessarily means. We'll have to look that one up because again, I guess it's under the anything goes category.
That's what my guess is. I know there's so many of these gimmicky matches. It's got to be something along those lines where it's more of a no rules kind of a style kind of a match. I mean, regardless, it's still going to be fun because Ethan Page is a world renowned talent, and obviously Wagner Jr. is very talented as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with that
From all
match.
I can see, it's a another name for no holds barred, no rules and stuff like that.
Exactly.
JC Jane, she'll defend the championship against Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley won a battle royal, about a week or a half ago. I believe it was like 2 weeks ago on NXT television. It was like the main event of NXT that week, in a big week for NXT. I think it was the Showdown show, NXT versus TNA, and where she won that battle royal to become the number one contender. Tatum Paxley, and not to be said for her Halloweenish gimmick or anything like that. I think she's getting over pretty well. I think a lot of people want to see her in this spot, and that has nothing to do with her kind of dark side. I think she's kind of a little bit of a fan favorite.
Oh, 100%. And just seeing that promo that she cut this past week, that was the fans were definitely behind her. She cuts a pretty good promo. I thought that segment with Fatal Attraction, obviously with JC Jane, I think they're setting it up where I think Tatum's going to finally get the match.
Trick Williams is no longer the TNA. What were we saying there quickly?
I was going to say, I think she's going to win the match. I think she's going to get the title. I think that's where we're going. Yeah, sorry, folks, losing the voice this week, but we're getting through it.
Trick Williams, he's no longer the TNA heavyweight champion. He lost at Bound for Glory to Mike Santana, but now he's going for the NXT championship against Ricky Saints. Big match for Ricky Saints. He's the NXT champion, as we know. And we'll talk a little bit in just a second about another person from AEW who's making a big splash over in NXT in their time. But Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, do you see Ricky Saints losing the belt?
No, I can't see it. I think Ricky Saints is going to be carrying the torch and being the face of this brand for a little while. And I think Trick Willie's time is going to be up in NXT. I think sooner rather than later he's going to get that call up. And let's not forget, Royal Rumble season is upon us. So don't be surprised if Trick Willie is on the main roster in the next few months.
So Zarya, a South Australian, if you will, herself from Adelaide, the same home as Rhea Ripley, she will be coming in to take the place of Sol Ruka. Now, the real rivalry here is between Blake Monroe and Sol Ruka for the NXT North American Women's Championship, but Sol Ruka will be out of this match, so Zarya is coming in essentially as the champion, defending the title for Sol Ruka versus Blake Monroe. This is Blake Monroe. I think this is her biggest spot since she's been over to NXT. What do we think's happening in this match?
I mean, we're seeing some kind of seeds between Blake Monroe planting those seeds with Zarya and Sol Ruka. So for me, I think Blake Monroe is going to win this match, and I also think there's going to be some dissension that finally happens between Sol Ruka and Zarya. I'm calling that now because we're kind of been seeing those planted seeds of what's been going on between those two lately. So I think Blake Monroe will take advantage of that situation and win the match.
I can tell this Halloween Havoc, I do have to say, it looks like a pretty decent card. It looks all right. I don't know, how much money I would spend to go see something like this. But, I am a little disappointed that we're not seeing more Halloween style gimmicks in this match. Day of the Dead match, I think, is like the only thing. It's a broken rules match. But, it takes me back to obviously when Halloween Havoc got its return in the NXT world, it was led by Miss Shotzi Blackheart. And I will say, if you're looking for something this weekend to do, especially if you're in Central New York, and if you're looking for something to watch, tomorrow, which will be Friday the 24th, will be an event in which I think should mirror more what Halloween Havoc should be trying to do. And that is a match which Shotzi Blackheart will be on this card. It's GCW's House of Horrors in Rochester, New York. And it's an all right looking card, but every single match on the card, there's a Doorway to Hell match. Obviously, Shotzi Blackheart's in a Trick or Treat street fight. There's a casket match. There's a Stairway to Hell match. There's a blindfold match. There's an Extreme Rules match. There's a Lights Out match. And there is a garbage plate on a pole match. That's a Rochester specific item. But it is a card in which is all gimmicks. And I would like to just see, I feel like this Halloween Havoc event should have a little more gimmicks. I will settle, though, for the inflatable pumpkin. Listen, we've said this before when they've done the NXT events. I want to see that demon troll over the inflatable pumpkin. It's come on, it's not an expensive prop, and it would like be gangbusters. That's all I'm saying. We're not over here saying like we'd settle for money falling from the ceiling. We're asking for the cheapest, silliest prop that you already have. You should already own this WCW Halloween Havoc prop. I mean, I would say this is one of those events, and we talk about this before with how much does the set and stage and stuff matter, but why Halloween Havoc matters versus like No Mercy or any of the other names for events is because you have such a chance to really like theme this event, to theme it to the nth degree. So I
Yeah.
really hope if I turn this on Saturday, which I won't because the World Series will be on, but when I watch it in replay, I really hope that they really themed this thing out to the best. Because now it's not even just an NXT TV special; it is a pay-per-view. So go all out. And again, I don't see go all out money-wise. How much does it cost to go get like some of those styrofoam caskets and things like that? Right?
How much?
Not that difficult. I think that would add to it. And I said like something. I used to love to spin the wheel, make the deal. Come on, they should have had that for this event. They didn't. But either way, I'm interested in it nonetheless. Halloween Havoc, just because again we have some of those things that kind of made it interesting at the last minute, right? The Broken Hardys gimmick, Mr. Iguana, those things are kind of making this event something that 2 weeks ago I really had no interest in. That I have a little more interest in now, and I'm looking forward to it this weekend for NXT as they're from Arizona, and we'll see what kind of crowd they get out there this weekend.